Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Mr. Zinke. A couple of things. I think I've heard you say you understand well that Massachusetts, as a state, on a bipartisan basis, we have met your test, a letter with every member of Congress, as well as our Republican governor, signing on in opposition to drilling off our beautiful shores. So that's your understanding, is it not?
It is clear that Massachusetts stands firmly opposed to offshore, but you should also know that there are really no resources off the coast of Massachusetts, and we can go through one science where they are, but yes, I have you down for a no.
Thank you very much. And also, I want to revisit the issue that Mr. McEachin brought up, which is the issue of sexual assault. You referenced it more broadly across the Department of Interior, but there was a survey done within the National Park Service, and I think it's important to highlight the results of that survey, that 38.7% of survey participants experienced some form of harassment in the past year, 10.4% of participants experienced sexual harassment in the past year, 74.7% of employees who experienced harassment did not file a report or complaint about the behavior. Of those who chose not to report, 45.9% thought nothing would be done if they filed a report or complaint, and 33% did not trust the process. Your budget does not include any dedicated funding to this issue. In my role in the House Armed Services Committee, we've seen all the services wrestle with this very seriously, as well as the Defense Department more broadly. It does require resources to be effective. You said the budget is a work in progress. Can you imagine finding funds to dedicate to this, whatever effort you put in place?
Well, the report, looks back, and I don't give judgment. It was a previous administration. It is still there. The sexual harassment is still there. I think much of it is leadership.
But leadership often requires a backup. And for example, in the DOD, we found nothing really happened until a general was put in charge of the Sexual Assault Prevention Response Office. So somebody with real standing within the organization has to take charge, and I hope that you will consider this as you move forward. There's also another survey that's been done of part-time employees. When do you expect the results of that to be released? Because I understand that it has been completed. Initially, we expected to hear it in spring of this year.
I will look on that. But I can tell you what sent shockwaves through Interior is when I fired 4. And I've said it again, I will fire 400 if necessary. Like you, I think sexual harassment is a cancer in an organization, and everyone deserves the right to come to work free of harassment, free of intimidation, and have a work environment that promotes integrity, innovation, and a strong work ethic.
I agree, but obviously, given the numbers that have been revealed, it's going to take a real culture change, and I appreciate your actions, but I do think something more comprehensive will be required. And within the National Park Service, there's yet to be a permanent director. I imagine a permanent director at the head of that service could begin to wrestle with the culture change that's needed. When does the administration plan to nominate a director of the National Park Service, a permanent director?
Well, the Office of Government Ethics and the FBI, I just had my nominee, the president's nominee, for the USGS just came out of the Office of Government Ethics and FBI after about a year. He's an astronaut. He has a PhD in Earth Sciences. He has a top secret.
We're talking about the National Park Service, so
well, but this is, gives you an
nominee?
This gives you an example. All our slate has been done. I don't have BLM. I don't have Fish and Wildlife Service. I don't have Park Service. I still don't have USGS. I can go on, but it's not the White House.
Speaking quickly of USGS, you have mentioned a number of times today about the importance of science in your decision-making and the USGS's role in doing that. And yet, you're proposing to restructure the climate and land use change program and significantly cut the numbers of dollars that would make their way into the USGS. I think seriously compromising its role in establishing good science around climate change and other things, and I yield back.